Hey everyone, so I'm out here Memorial Day weekend doing a little lawnmower tractor maintenance. Got to do an oil change, change out the blades, all that. But I'm doing some gear prep and testing for a few shoots this coming week. It's Memorial Day weekend, so I'm going to take off Monday and all that. But yeah, this is what my weekend looks like. Got to do a little lawn maintenance. We have about 4 acres here, so it's a lot of work trying to keep it maintained and all that. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted as we go. So good thing I changed my blades. These were the old ones. They look terrible. I thought maybe, oh, I can sharpen them or something, but yeah, there's no sharpening these. They just need to be replaced. So I have the new blades on and everything is looking good. I'm gonna do the oil change now. Got the oil change kit, filter replace, spark plugs, all that stuff. So we got the surrounding of the house mowed. We kind of have to break it up into 3 sections. So we have like the perimeter around the house that gets mowed, but then we have all this to mow. And then we have the back field here to mow. But this portion gets super wet. This portion here is kind of sloped down and then it goes back up. But this middle part gets super wet. And I've gotten my lawnmower stuck out there at least a dozen times. So it's really hard to mow out there. But yeah, so I usually do the front of the house, and then my wife likes doing the field out there. So we kind of divide it up into 3 little sections. I'm testing some new equipment. I always like to test equipment before I have it on a shoot, so that way I know how it works, and I work at all the kinks kind of on my own time here. And then, you know, on a shoot, I feel much more confident going into it with new equipment. So just to give you guys a quick, brief rundown on what I'm working out kind of for future shoots. But I have a new time code system. I'm using the Deity Sync or Deity system, whatever it's called. But I have a time code slate that I'm trying to make sure time code is syncing with everything. So right now I have it synced to my F6 recorder. I don't know if you can see that. 53646. And then it's kind of cool. So I don't have a TC1 running straight into the recorder. So I just jam sync it once, and that's good for a few hours, which is totally more than enough for what I would use it for. So it's kind of nice on the F6. You can just run a 1/8 inch cable out of the time code, and then I literally just have an 1/8 inch to a 1/4 20 adapter here, and that just goes right into the actual slate. There's like a 1/4 20 there. It just plugs in like that, and then you know you're syncing when this little thing, external sync, it turns white. So when I unplug it, now it's red, and that means it's not connected to an external time code device. But I mean, even when I turn these guys off for a few hours, they still come back on with the time code very accurate. And again, this is kind of a new venture for me. I'm not an expert when it comes to time code. I'm not an expert when it comes to audio. I'm still very much a novice. I'm still learning. Let's just put it that way. So if there's a better way of doing this, feel free to leave anything in the comments. I'm sure there's 100 different things I could do differently to improve my setup. But this is just kind of what I've been working with and trying to figure out on my own. But yeah, so time code to the recorder. Then I haven't gotten the cable yet for jam syncing the time code on here, but essentially there's a slot, I think it's USB, that comes out to a BNC, and then I can just sync that. I have a 5-pin to BNC on the time code slate, so I'll jam sync both devices, before we start filming, and then maybe once again at lunch, and that should get me through the day and having time code fairly accurate. But yeah, so I'm working on generating time code and figuring out all that. And then as far as camera, I did get a shark fin for camera A, so that way I have hot swappable camera plates, so I can literally, if this one is getting low, change it out for a new one, and vice versa on the other side. It just makes it a little bit easier, so I don't have to like power down anything, just keep everything running the whole day. And it would last for quite a bit with having 2 batteries on there, powering the monitor, the camera, the transmitter, and the Wi-Fi router. So that's a new addition. Just trying to make things a little bit easier on set. And then I did get a new iPad. I have a iPad Pro, the 12-inch display, but this is just going to be a little bit nicer for monitoring camera. I like this Teradek viewer app and being able to monitor 2 camera feeds, up to 4 actually, on any given device. But it's nice having it on this bigger screen here, and it's super portable. So literally I have like 2 multi-view, camera A, camera B. Right now I just have 1 camera hooked up. But another cool feature is if I am doing a 1 camera interview, I can do a 1-to-1 ratio, because I find myself every time I do a 1 camera interview, I always shoot 4K, or the client wants me to shoot 4K and have the ability to punch in. But here on the viewer app, you can literally punch in the second camera angle. So that way you can see what your crop is going to look like. There's so many times where I just blindly crop an image in post, and there's like little things that I didn't realize kind of stood out more, or they crop a little differently. But it's nice being able to see exactly what you're going to get in the cropped image, the 1080 image. But yeah, it has the percentage there. I think I always like to keep it around like 150. I feel like that's a good spot, so you don't start seeing, pixelation and all that. But yeah, so that's kind of a nice feature on the viewer app, is literally just being able to pinch, and you can even do like, right, left on the crop as well. But yeah, so that's kind of the viewer app. And I also have the SIDIO app specifically for iPad on here as well. I didn't realize they had one specific for iPad and then one specific for iPhone, but the iPad one is way more intuitive. You can really use more of the real estate. So they have like this console feature where you can quickly look at all your lights and manage intensity. And you can also, adjust color balance if you wanted this more tungsten. That's the hair light there. Or you want more daylight, or you want to just turn it off completely. It's all done on this app, which is nice. Way more intuitive than using the actual one for the iPhone. But I think I had this light at like 10% or something. This one was at 50, but yeah, so that's kind of a new feature that I've been messing around with. And bring back up the Teradek viewer. And I find this works better when you have the two camera angles on something like this. You have the two, you get more real estate doing it this way on a two camera thing. These end up being like effectively like a 7-inch and a 7-inch monitor, as opposed to if you do it horizontal, then you get like a 3-inch and a 3-inch. So this works really great for the two camera stuff that I'll be doing. Got a new bag for audio, which is nice. I don't think it's specific for the F6, but I've managed to make it work, and I kind of like it. Right now, the F6 is in there pretty snug, not really moving around a whole lot. That's always the key to these like bags, is making sure things aren't like moving around. And then I have side access to all the XLR and headphone stuff through this side, and same on this side, all the XLR inputs here. But yeah, it's Orca 28, I think. It's like a kind of a small, compact audio mixer, but this works perfect for what I need. And then I literally just have an iPad just on a clamp in front, so I can still kind of see a bigger screen. That's the one thing I don't like about the F6, is the screen's so small. It's hard to tell like level wise, and then when you're shooting 32-bit float, the 0 is in a weird spot, as opposed to here, 0 is at the very top. So I kind of like that too. Just at a quick glance, I can just see something a little bit bigger, and ARM channels, adjust levels, just kind of on the fly, really fast, really intuitive. But then, yeah, this is just kind of what I would bring to like a 1 or 2 person interview. I have it set up right now to run a boom out of channel 1, and then channel 2 and 3, I have these little lavs ready to go. And then I have some Countryman B6 lavaliers that will plug into here, and I can run a wire, or if it's just really quick, I can just use these. And I like to get these little Wi-Fi transmitter receivers out of the actual bag, because I just noticed it doesn't really do well sitting all the way down there. So I just have another clamp that just clamps to the side of the bag, and then I can just put these guys on the outside. But yeah, so I've been working a lot on audio. Audio is not my strong suit, but I'm trying to make it better, because I've noticed, it's decent if I run a boom mic straight into the camera, but I've noticed it's a lot better going external. And then you have, the 32-bit float with the F6, more flexibility in post. So I've been doing that a lot. So I just wanted to make it more streamlined. This is like the audio bag. Usually I had audio set up in like a Pelican 1610 case, and then I would need to like set all this up kind of every time. But now it all just lives in one case, and then everything's already routed. I don't have to plug in anything, apart from the boom. Just plug in the boom real quick. And then I'm good to go. What I do have is I have a little Rode Wireless Go that I'm running on the output of the F6 for camera. So then I have audio going into camera, and I can route whatever I want. If I want to just have the boom, or if I want to have the lavs, or I can do like boom on the left and lavs on the right, or whatever, into camera. And then I can monitor camera return on the viewer app, you do have audio tethered into this, so then I can just make sure levels are good on the viewer app. And I also have this little portable battery inverter, whatever it's called, but this is for if I'm outside or whatnot. Right now it's dead. I've completely drained it so I can recharge it. But yeah, this is mostly just to power, laptop, iPad, iPhone, whatever little devices need to be powered. I think it can power up to 600 watts or something like that, which is crazy. It's only 268 watt hours, so you could only power that not even like 20 minutes probably. But it's nice being able to have that kind of capacity even for a brief time. But yeah, like I said, this is just going to be for like little devices like laptop, iPad, and even has a wireless charger for my phone. So that way I can charge my phone without having to have a wire. But yeah, this would just be mostly for outside use, or if I'm in a location where I don't have constant power, I can just run it off of that for a little bit. Probably not lights, because that just draws too much power. Maybe that light, that's not too bad. But if I just need to quickly charge something up, then I can do that. Oh, and speaking of battery for audio, I think it's an Anchor battery, but it's powering everything. So iPad, recorder, and then even wireless transmitters. I have it tucked in here. It's a little tricky to get out with one hand, especially. Let's see if I can do it. I like the challenge. Yeah, right here. It has like 4 little things on there. It's almost dead. I need to charge it up. But yeah, it powers everything for a really long time. I want to say this is, I forgot the capacity. It's like over 30,000 milliamp hours. So we'll definitely power everything all day, maybe multiple days. But yeah, and another thing with the F6, a note I should mention, is once it's in this bag, it takes a while to get out. It's like Velcro strapped onto the little things in there, so it's not going to move around. But if I need to transfer files, I can just take that same USB-C cable that is running into power, plug it into my laptop, and transfer audio that way. So I don't have to get underneath and get the SD card out. I can get it out without removing it. It's just, I almost have to break apart like all this stuff to be able to reach it. So it just makes more sense just to grab that USB plug that's powering the camera and just plug it into my laptop. I could even just put my laptop here, and there's enough slack to get it to reach, and then I could just transfer the files that way. So it's super easy after a shoot. But yeah, just a quick note. But yeah, I love this new slate. It's from Deity, but it's super nice. It pretty much has a TC1 built into it, so you can still have all the same features that you need for time code. It has a 2 battery tray, so you can literally have power for all day. Then you can charge it USB-C. But yeah, that's super nice having the 2 batteries there. The best feature is literally just being able to do the one-handed slate, having these little grooves, so you can just, makes it so much easier. But yeah, that was a good investment. I'm sure I'll get lots of use out of this guy. And then you can program the screen to say whatever you want at the end. You can put like the project title or whatnot. That's all done through the app. And then of course it's just dry erase or permanent marker on here. And I have a little protective thing that I need to put on there, just so I don't mess up the actual screen here. I mean, you can write on here, they just have like this little protective thing just to keep it nice and clean. So yeah, that's the TC1 slate. TCSL1 slate. It also comes with a nice little carrying case bag, which is nice just to keep it protected. Might leave it in here, or I already have a spot for it on this bag, but I usually just kind of tuck it in here. But just to keep it a little more protected, I might leave it in the actual case as opposed to leaving it on here. Even though all this stuff does break down into this bag, which is nice. I'll show you guys that. Okay, so this is what I was talking about with being able to see the crop on the viewer app, the Teradek viewer app. It's just a nice tool to have, especially on an iPad like this, having the two angles. So you can kind of see what you'll be getting once it's cropped in and post. And I know some monitors, you can do like a 1-to-1 punch in and you can see the crop that way. But I like being able to have two cameras side by side. So in this case, you can kind of really dial in the crop. I'd probably take down that photo because you can only see like half of it. Don't like the wall switch there. So little things like that you probably wouldn't really notice too much on a wider shot. It's really emphasized on the cropped image there. So I think that's a pretty powerful tool on the Teradek viewer app. And I have my lovely wife standing in so we can kind of see what it looks like. But yeah, it's nice being able to have multiple monitors. So in this case, I could have this monitor for client, whether it's a director or producer, or even sometimes talent, like being able to see what they look like before each take, hair-wise or makeup or anything like that. They can kind of just quickly glance over at it before we start just to make sure it's good. And then hopefully they wouldn't keep looking back at it. So once we're rolling, I can kind of move it away so they don't see it. But that's always nice, just having a quick monitor via iPad using the Teradek viewer app. But yeah, I have my little lav kit in here, some clips, windscreens. Then I have the B6s with the little foamy cutouts and a little sticky, Brightcoat sticky. I have a few in here, a few more foamies. But yeah, this is just kind of the quick lav set just in case I need to mic someone up. I typically just like the sound of the boom, but it's always good to have redundancy. Or if I can't use a boom and I have to have someone be like moving around, then I'll quickly lav them up. But yeah, it goes in there. Also picked up this little quick release for the boom. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. But this slots down and then this comes off. And I'm sure this has been around for a while and lots of people have already been using it, but it's new to me and it's amazing. It just simplifies having to thread a boom pole all the time. Just a little quick release. You can do it one-handed. I'll put the link in the description. I think it was like 12 bucks or 15 bucks, something like that. Super nice though. So here's the audio kit all packed up, nice and neat. Even have the little boom pole on there. iPad holder just kind of stays connected and folds down. Same with the little clip for the lav system. But yeah, everything fits in here super nice. Even have the iPad mini in there. Even the boom mic goes on the side, XLR cable. The only thing I need is a C-stand to mount the boom and the little C-stand fishing holder thing, whatever you call them. This little guy, that's the only thing I need for audio. And I might figure out a way to put that somewhere, maybe like a carabiner off the side. So it's literally all I need is a C-stand for audio. And then everything is routed and connected, ready to go in this bag here. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Or if there's any improvements on audio that you would suggest. I'm still somewhat of a novice when it comes to audio, so I'm sure I'm doing a million things wrong, or I could be doing a million things better. So just let me know in the comments below. I've been really getting into car detailing. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube about people who like to car detail. And this is pretty fun. Watch, I'll show you guys. It's just like a little foam cannon. It's just an attachment for like a water compressor or a pressure washer. But yeah, fun stuff. Me and my wife always laugh about this, but when we first started talking about having kids, we never wanted a minivan. We thought it was so uncool. But now we have 3 vans. That's my wife's van. That's my old van that I used to use to carry gear before I got the cargo van. But I brought this guy with me from California. I had a minivan in California because a lot of people I know and companies had their cargo vans broken into, even if they were left unwrapped and they didn't have any sort of media signage on the outside. These little cars are always getting broken into in California. So I decided to go with an inconspicuous minivan. And luckily, the 6 years that I've had this in California, I never had anything broken into. So, quick note, if you live in California, try not to drive one of those and drive something like that.